Hey collectors, just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Jay, and as of recently I found myself in a rhythm of posting photos and quick videos. The feedback that I've been getting from everyone has been crazy. So much positivity, so much support, so much enthusiasm, and it makes me glad and makes me proud to be part of this community. Every one of you have actually encouraged me to create this video to answer more questions and more inquiries to help everyone else out there, just like how everyone out there helped me. So without further ado, let's get this started.
We're in the end game now.
Let's start this collection off with a bang and go big with Hulkbuster. Pose is quite simple, looking into his own hand, kind of embracing its power. The thing that I did with this figure and with all of my light-up figures is I wired them all to the cabinets. So every time I turn my cabinets on, all the light-up figures turn on itself. Don't have to tinker around with switches and little hidden compartments. And at the end of the day, you know what? It's pretty cool how you can just sit there and turn the lights on and everything just turns on by itself, and it just makes everything look so much better. Another example is with Thanos. I did the same thing with his hand. Very subtle pose, looking up, kind of gazing. Here I actually use the Infinity War arm and put in the gauntlet. Amazing piece. And moving on to Doctor Strange. This is the movie version of him, not the Infinity War. I didn't switch over to that version, nor did I get it, because I always thought the head sculpt looked a little weird. The features looked almost too sharp or too exaggerated that it kind of looked odd to me. So I said, I'm going to stick with this one, keep it, do some crazy poses with it, and you know what? No regrets at all. Quick story about Hawkeye and Black Widow. Hawkeye is actually signed by Jeremy Renner, and he's a pretty cool dude. He's quite reserved, had a couple conversations and had a couple photos. Really cool guy. He was talking about the movie actually, but unfortunately he couldn't tell too much about it. Black Widow, I got her a couple days ago. Sculpted hair, thank God. I hate rooted hair, it looks awful. It's such a pain to mess around with. And of course on Hawkeye's arrow is Ant-Man. So do I really need to get an Ant-Man figure? I don't know yet. Here you have Loki from Ragnarok. I missed out on all the other Lokis, and to be honest with you, I wasn't quite happy with those ones yet. There's a new one coming out from the Avengers movie. This pose was actually inspired from Infinity War when Loki was holding up the Tesseract to Thanos. Quite subtle, very simple, a lot of emotion, I guess, I tried to recreate. Hopefully I succeeded. This is what I came up with. And honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. A lot of people say that it's so simple, but it's so effective. You can just see what he wants to do to Thanos. War Machine Mark 1 diecast from Iron Man 2. This guy is absolutely a grail, and I agree with everyone there. He's awesome, he's huge, he's big, he's a tank. That's how War Machine should be. He shouldn't be streamlined in my opinion, but that's just me. The pose is quite simple, him reloading his guns. It was actually a quite difficult decision. I didn't know what to do with him. So many possibilities, but this is what I came up with. swinging over to Spider-Man and Rocket Raccoon. So I actually posted a photo not too long ago, and a lot of people started commenting and messaging me saying, "Hey, don't leave your Spidey in that pose for too long. It'll cause damages and creases and whatnot." And I appreciate everyone's concern, but I actually did some tests. I left Spider-Man in very dynamic poses for a couple weeks, a couple months, and then put him back into a museum pose, and the suit healed back to its original state with minimal creases and damages. So I'm pretty confident that I'm not gonna do anything. Rocket Raccoon I got not too long ago. Sweet figure. Nano Gauntlet running away from the battle, I guess. And now we come to the Mark 6 Iron Man. My favorite design out of all of them. A close runner-up would be the Mark 85. The perfect companion piece to the Mark 1 War Machine diecast. Eventually they'll be side by side in one cabinet, but for the time being I had them separated until I run out of room. We'll see how it goes. Again, he's wired into the cabinet, all the lights turn on, looks great. If I was to only have one Iron Man, it would be him. For sure. Now stepping back, I have my Power Ranger collection and Dragon Ball. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. That is my favorite movie of all time. There is no fate but what we make I have tattooed on me. And of course I had to get all the Hot Toy figures that I can get my hands on. We have the DX-10, two DX-13s showing the Terminator in different stages of the movie. Eventually I want to get a second DX-10 to specifically show the time where he was carrying the minigun, ammo bag, grenade launcher, shooting out of the window of Cyberdyne Systems, and of course, without any casualties. Most part, this is my sci-fi and DC wall. And over here we have Bumblebee and Optimus Prime by 3-0, their DLX line. And I cannot give these figures enough praise, just because of the attention to detail, the posability, articulation is seriously on point. The things that you could do and pose is probably better than 90% of the Hot Toys that are out there, just because of the engineering that went behind these figures. It's absolutely stunning and it's crazy. Neo from the Matrix was a lot of fun to do. Recreating this pose with convincement of movement, weight, and momentum was a lot of fun, and I'm just gonna let the video speak for itself. Robocop is another favorite movie of mine, next in line to Terminator 2. I recently just got the Battle Damage 2-pack of Alex Murphy and BD Robocop. I think that was probably 2 days ago, and absolutely ecstatic. I've been trying to find that 2-pack for, I don't know, 3-4 years now, and I'm so happy that I finally got him. Not too long ago I met Peter Weller, actually, and he signed that plaque behind Robo there. He had some good stories to tell about making the movie and all of that stuff. He's a really cool guy. Appreciate him a lot. He was nice to me. And for sure, this head sculpt is one of the best that Hot Toys has ever made. I swapped out the head sculpt because I wanted to put the Battle Damage helmet on the Battle Damage body just to change things up. And if this shelf doesn't look awesome, I don't know what does. I mean, look at that. Very proud of that shelf, that pose. I took inspiration, I saw a photo in one of the Facebook groups and kind of tweaked it, made it more of my own. Kind of changed it a little bit here and there, did a couple different angles. But to see Ed 209 blasting Robocop into pieces in this particular shelf is just simply awesome. I know Ed 209 is pretty notorious for cracking. Fortunately enough, mine hasn't started doing that, but eventually I'll take preventative measures and condition that dome of his so it doesn't crack. But look at that. That looks crazy good. The controversial Justice League Wonder Woman head sculpt. Yeah. Let's just leave it at that. From a distance it doesn't look too bad, but the closer you get to it, the more of the imperfections that you see, but oh well. And here's the Flash. This pose was awesome. Again, the same story with Iron Spidey. People were concerned about the figure and whatnot, but no problems at all. And you know what? This pose screams Flash. Two fingers pointing, electricity running around him. Like, the guy is in motion. It literally looks like he's running at you, which is pretty sweet. Jason Momoa as Aquaman. If Hot Toys released this figure a month earlier, I would have been able to have Jason sign him. I do have photos and autographs from him, but unfortunately I couldn't get this figure signed, but that would have been sweet if that was a possibility. Posability, not that great, but museum pose for that figure looks really good. Tactical Batman, beast. Absolute beast of a figure. I did mod him quite a bit. I moved his legs around, shin guards, placed them a bit different, and also added taller ankle pegs. Also beefed up his neck by doing the hot and cold treatment of the cowl, and it turned out really good. I couldn't stand how skinny the neck used to look like. Do I prefer him over the regular suit Batman from JL? Yes, I do. I know that's not going to be a popular opinion, but whatever. Armored Batman from BVS. When this suit came out, yep, I fangirled, for sure. This figure is heavily modded. The fat suit underneath I removed. Some of the joints I shaved down just to make it all work out better. The spear is from Tony May quite a few years ago. Don't know if he still makes them, but I'm glad that I grabbed it actually. DC Trinity, Man of Steel here has third-party head sculpt. If you look really closely at Superman, he doesn't actually have a waist grabber. He's customized. The pole actually screws into his back, so it gives him that more of a seamless look. Really happy at the way it turned out. And of course, Batman, Ben Affleck as the GOAT. Moving over to Harley Quinn. She's definitely the best version that we received, especially head sculpt wise with sculpted hair. Looks great. Awesome expression. Looks good. Not my first choice for her pose, but I recently changed it. But eventually, Harley and Joker will be in the same shelf once other figures come in. They're going to move together. Same thing, Justice League, they're all going to be condensed into maybe 2 or 3 shelves. Mr. Jared Leto as Joker. Not my first choice. Joaquin Phoenix was pretty spectacular in his role. But this, to me, is a classic Joker look and a classic Joker outfit. I widened his stance to show superiority, to show dominance, and with his facial expression, everything all came together really nicely. Moving down to the Berserker Predator. He's actually, I think, my first or second hot toy ever. Got him back maybe 8 years ago. And of course with the Alien Warrior, they have to be put together, AVP, right? This figure is all sorts of damaged, unfortunately. Cracked joints, leather deteriorating, things getting detached. So a lot of work put in just to maintain him. John Wick. The head sculpt is not too bad. A little disappointing because he doesn't have the hair running down his face. It's all kind of slicked back. The likeness to Keanu is actually pretty spot on. Eventually I'll darken his beard a little bit to be more accurate. Has a bunch of accessories. Eventually I'll display most of them. I just want to figure out the perfect pose for John Wick. Pretty hard to decide considering how many accessories he has. Darth Vader. He's probably the tallest 1/6 figure excluding Thanos, which is really impressive. When I first got him, I couldn't believe how big he was compared to the other figures. Yeah, eventually I'll get a custom lightsaber done for him, but for the time being, I'm pretty happy with how he looks like. And last but not least, my Dread shelf. You got Anderson, Sylvester's Dread in the back, and Carl Urban's on the right. Carl Urban's Dread is heavily modded. Different body, lots of custom paint work, grinded down the top of his head so the helmet sits a bit lower. Same with Anderson, her uniform is painted and weathered down. And here we get to the Dark Knight shelf. Batman Begins and Dark Knight and Joker are all 1/4 scale. I was honestly teeter-tottering between getting any 1/4 scale just because it's a bit space-consuming and quite a big change and difference from what I already have. But after seeing and after receiving the Dark Knight 1/4 scale, I said, may as well continue and just finish off that whole series with Batman Begins and Joker. And I couldn't be any more grateful that I did. Also, both of the Batman capes are stock. A little trick that I do is I steam the capes so they're more pliable, and I lay them exactly the way I want it to. And eventually it'll dry, it'll sit exactly the way it does now. I did the same thing with Joker's coat. At the beginning, when I pulled him out of the box, that coat was wrinkled and messed up. It didn't look good. It looked like someone sat on it for days. Two-Face 2.0. Really awesome that Hot Toys revisited that one. The first one was, it was okay. I almost bought it actually. Good thing I didn't, because a couple months after they released the 2.0. Catwoman, her front is zipped down just a little bit, a little bit more sexier, a little bit more provocative, and it's not too bad of a look. This Bane is a kit bash. The body is from TV League. I think it's called the M32. I used the Arnold replica body for Bane. Posability on it is amazing, and it looks great overall. I prefer that one much more than the stock Hot Toys version. With Joker there in the back, I got him the little Oscar award there, just in his memory. And that basically wraps up the collection. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is actually the first one I've ever made to this caliber. This is very new to me, very nerve-wracking, and hopefully I did a good job and you all are happy with it. Questions, concerns, comments, let me know. Maybe even advice on how to make it better. All would be definitely appreciated. I'm doing the last sweep of the room, the collective room. Thanks. See you guys.